Holy moly! Wow! Hello, what is up guys? I'm your host Gordon and welcome to another one of my video. Today it is a very exciting day for me because I managed to borrow a JY or a Jie Ying DSR from a friend of mine. And this, oh my god, I better stop doing that because that is a little too heavy. This over here is a bolt action shell ejecting foam dart blaster, and holy moly, this thing is absolutely amazing and it is really heavy. Okay, first look at the blaster. As you can see, the aesthetic of the blaster is absolutely a DSR sniper. And of course, the most amazing thing is that it's been a while that I've got my hands on a really solid and a really good looking blaster, especially the shell ejecting ones. Really missed the good old UDL days, seriously. Thank God I managed to borrow one for today's review. So the moment when you hold the blaster on hand, this thing is extremely heavy. Pretty close to 4 kilograms if you wanted to know. So the entire blaster, I mean, it's like super solid. The moment when you hold it on hand, it does not feel really cheap because the entire blaster is made out of a combination of metal parts as well as nylon. And these are very thick nylon. The aesthetic as well as the color scheme of the blaster over here is definitely not the kind of stuff that you should bring to the public, because I'm pretty sure that this will get you into trouble regardless of country that you're in, unless if you want to paint this blaster, which I don't think it will help as well. The grip of the blaster is actually very comfortable if you actually look closely to the grip over here. I mean, the entire shape is just shaped so well for a hand to rest on it. Let's take a look at this like finger rest over here. It felt really nice. I mean, the entire grip over here is actually rubber coated and it fits perfectly on my hand. The trigger pull of the blaster felt really smooth and the trigger itself is made out of metal. The blaster also comes with a fire selector over here. I'm not sure if this is how it's supposed to be because this is a borrowed unit over here. The fire selector doesn't seem to work because I was being told that there is safety and stuff in there. I mean, there's like 3 options over here. In my test, none of them works. It just fire, you know what I'm saying? And then we get to the buttstock of the blaster. Shouldering the blaster, I wouldn't say that the buttstock is uncomfortable or anything. I mean, like if you try to shoulder like a 4 kilogram blaster over here, it is really uncomfortable for the hand because of the weight. And speaking about the buttstock over here, the buttstock, it is adjustable. You can adjust the height of the buttstock by pushing this pin over here, and you just can push up and down, I mean, to get your optimum position of buttstock comfortness. If you're speaking about adjustability, almost the entire back of the buttstock, I mean, including the cheek rest, let me show you guys real quick, is adjustable. You can even adjust the length of the buttstock if you wanted to, as well as the height of the stabilizer over here, just in case if you want to aim it on the ground. There is even a sling mounting point over here if you're into that kind of thing. This is a little too heavy, you might hurt your neck a little bit. And speaking about adjustability, if you take a look at the handguard over here, even the handguard over here is adjustable if you are into like positioning your hands like that, you know, for more stability, in my opinion. If you try to like hold your blaster over here, it kind of felt a little too front heavy because the bipod over here is made out of metal. I mean, take a look at this bipod, and even the bipod itself is adjustable. And take a look at these are metal. I mean, holy moly. And the entire barrel of the blaster, including the muzzle flash, is made out of metal. That explains the weight of the blaster. And speaking about metal, the entire roll of Picatinny, which the blaster only came with 1 entire roll over here, is made out of metal as well. Holy actual moly. Oh yeah, in order to retract the bipod over here, you have to push on the switch over here to, you know, just push your bipod just like so. And do you know that the moment when I get this blast over here, I actually struggle to figure out how to, you know, retract this bipod over here. So I give my friend a call and I was like, okay, so that's the actual way to, you know, keep this bipod over here. So what you're gonna do is to pull the bipod, and there you go. You can just store it just like so. Same with the other side. You pull it downwards and then you fold it just like so. I actually spent like almost an hour figuring out how this thing works because it kind of scares the crap out of of me, which I kind of thought I destroyed the mechanism or something like that. Oh, I just realized that even the poles under here is made out of metal. Holy moly, the amount of metal on this blaster is insane. And since this blaster is a bolt action blaster and in the same time it is a collector's item, I do not expect high FPS out of this. And the bolt itself is made out of metal as well. The entire bolt system is made out of metal. And in order to prime the blaster, like I thought like most of these shell ejecting foam that blaster, you prime it while you pull the blaster. But in fact, that's not the case. You prime the blaster when you push the blaster towards the front, just like so. And that is how you prime the blaster. I was like, okay, now I get it. And in order to load up this blaster, speaking about the loading mechanism, it is super cool. There is a magazine in front of the blaster. This is not where you load your blaster. This is more of a magazine holder over here, which is very cool as well, just like a Nerf Longshot. In order to load your blaster, you load it behind here. This is more like a bullpup style. This is where you keep the extra mag, and this is where the actual mag is. Here goes nothing. You pull the bolt, and then you push the shell into the chamber, and there you go. And the shell ejecting, oh yeah, it doesn't really fly out the cool way, it just drops. I mean, that's the only dissatisfying part of this blast over here. I really hope that it just shoots out like the real deal, but I get it, it is not the real deal. Oh yeah, and one more thing, speaking about the firing of the blaster, I found that there are certain weird parts of the firing mechanism of the blaster. So in order to fire the blaster, of course you push it towards the front in order to prime the blaster, but sometimes it kind of acts weirdly. It fires the moment when you push the bolts forward. I don't know if I can mimic that right now. Let me try and see, try to screw up the bolting mechanism. It just works pretty well right now. Oh yeah, and one more thing, because of the shell ejecting mechanism is not strong enough, sometimes the shell just fail to eject and just stay here just like so. So that's another sad thing about this blaster. This is a very good looking blaster. It is almost perfect if they actually fixes most of the problem. I'm not sure if this is a used blaster problem, because I don't have a brand new one, so I can't compare with it. So we'll just stick to my findings for now. And the shells that came with the blaster, of course, sadly enough, there is a certain weirdness as well. So I was being told that this blaster is using one of those tiny micro darts that are usually being used in one of those shell ejecting glocks. And since those are usable, we can put in something like a 7.5 mm gels in there for the testing later on. And I was being told that this blaster can actually put in one of those really long, tiny, slim, long darts in there. But unfortunately, I'm not sure if this is a lemon unit or whatsoever. This blaster just does not fit its given shell that was used to put in one of those long, skinny darts. See, it just can't go in. And speaking about the shells, take a look at this. These are metal shells. Take a look at the sound. This is some ASMR situation over here. And of course, take a look at the mag over here. It is full metal as well, except the mag bump over here is made out of nylon. So I guess that's all of the quirks and features of this blast over here. So without further ado, let us go test this heavy blaster out. I mean, this is going to be a workout. Okay, we are back, guys. So the performance of the blaster is kind of surprising, to be honest. If we were to use those micro dart, the blaster can actually go from 117 FPS all the way to 190 FPS. This is a near 200 FPS blaster, holy moly. And in terms of accuracy, it is not bad. Hitting a target in about like 8 meters is doable. Usually these tiny darts just can't travel far, and of course the consistency of the FPS is all over the place. Sometimes it goes super high, sometimes it goes super low. And if we actually use this gels, the blaster can go from 141 FPS all the way to 195 FPS. Yes, the consistency is not that good, but in terms of average FPS consistency, gels is a little bit more better. Hitting a target in 8 to 9 meters, slightly more distance over here, is absolutely doable. The accuracy of the blaster, I would say it is okay, it's not too bad. And of course, operating this blaster, did I encounter any jams? A lot of weirdness, which I consider it as a jam. First of all, the shells over here sometimes just fails to eject. I mean, I wouldn't call that as a complete fail to eject, just that sometimes it just doesn't want to eject properly. I mean, that eject is kind of successful, but some ejects just doesn't have enough power to shoot out of this ejection port over here. That will cause us some jams if you don't realize that there's still a shell in there. And of course, the second weirdness that I encounter with this blaster is that sometimes when I try to chamber the darts over here, it will just fire without me pulling the trigger. That's kind of dangerous in my opinion, given that the safety of this blaster just didn't work. Giving it a second thought, that's quite a number of problems. Man, if these problems does not exist in the first place, this is going to be my #1 choice in terms of blaster collection, but sadly, this is not even mine. And will this blaster passes the wall test? Of course, it passes the wall test with flying colors. I mean, take a look at this, guys. So yep, I guess that's all for today, guys. If you guys like this video, feel free to smash on the like button. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. So yep, Gordon's checking out, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Adios, guys.